That's him in number 9. You'll see him putting down Dane Sorensen there. Peake started his football with Canterbury in 1972 and played 7 seasons with them, and there was talk in the Canterbury circles that he had finished his football, but South Sydney thought otherwise and quickly snapped him up in 1978, and he's been playing some really super stuff this season. There he is, coming over the top that time. A very good tackle. I think it's Greg Mullane is the player that he helped put down then. Only 26 years of age, weighing about 13.5 stone. He fits into the South Sydney close-in pattern very well. Scored 2 tries last week too to cap a really outstanding all-round game. For great defence like that, John Peake has got the choice of a number of outstanding pie products. He can have a freezer, a fridge, colour television, some sound equipment.
Right, now calm yourself down. You've gone grey and red in colour.
I have too.
Right.
Getting under my guard. Well, this was a good game. South Sydney won this game 25-10 against, well, before this, much fancied Cronulla, but the way South Sydney handled them, I thought that Cronulla on last week's performance were a very ordinary side, and I think Sticks would agree with me there.
What about this Nathan Gibbs?
Yeah, he played terrifically. He had a terrific first half and ran on the ball, and he scored a good try as well. In the game, in the running of the game, you'll see John Peake, who I thought was the man of the match, scores 2 tries. One's a sneaky one, you'll see, from a penalty. He takes the tap when all the backs are
we've got that on the disc.
and he goes in the corner, and it was, you know, all above board, a top try. But South on that day, like they've been bagged during the year for their footy, you know, that's been negative and all this sort of thing. They chipped and they kicked the ball and they did everything right, you know. And, oops, excuse me. And it just went all their way. And I would say that Souths, in their present form, would beat any side in the comp. And if it was a grand final tomorrow and they were playing against a side that threw the ball around, South would win.
Well, that's going to be a comfort to Max Krillich, because Manly have got a game against South Sydney to play at Redfern Oval. That's something we look forward to.
Well, they were negative early in the piece, Noel. You would say that they've got a few attacking players back in their side, which has made them a better side.
Eric Ferguson for a start, you know.
But he's out injured. He did his knee.
Last week?
Yeah.
He's not
he wasn't playing. Well,
no, he did his knee. I'm told he's out for the season.
I think Gary Wright's playing very well, you know, and Kenny Stewart playing very well, you know. Mick Malone and Graham, Chris Gardner scored tries for Cronulla, and well, South, the try tallies told the story. They scored 5 tries to 2 and were never in doubt right from the first 5 minutes of the game.
You said they couldn't score tries, huh?
Oh, they're scoring good tries too, I tell you. They pelleted around last week. And like the scrums were about even, and so were the penalties, and they were just by far the better side.
Here's this Gary Wright try. Look at the footwork here.
Quick little player, this guy.
Scored 2 the other night, too.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Wasn't he in Western Australia?
He was. He was. He came back about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, how big a loss is this young Ferguson going to be? He's been kicking goals like they're going out of fashion since he
kicked 4
came
from
back.
7 last week. He's well, I think he's a pretty player to watch. You know, he's footwork and that. He's a
Look at
top
this.
player.
Cooked 6 the week before.
There's Peake's second try. That was Ferguson.
I can't stop rapping John
Gibbs.
Peake.
Yeah, Gibbs.
I've yet to see John Peake have a bad game. He's had a quiet
He is a good
game,
player,
but
isn't
he's
he?
a top player.
Good player. But I still think he's a second row forward rather than...
Here's Kenny Stewart.
That was a good one. Well, we'll have a look at those again on the disc in a minute, because I think it was very clever, that, and the sort of thing that a lot of players could do in certain circumstances. And they maybe don't even know they can do it, some of them.
Well, I would probably go as far as to say that Gibbo has probably woken them up to the fact that they can do these things. I believe he's a smart enough coach and puts enough thought into it to have them doing these things.
Cronulla's tries off bombs.
Yeah. So let's have a look at the Peake try. If you'd told me that a first-grade side had turned their back on a tap penalty, the way John Peake was allowed to move up after Sorensen was penalised and just go up there, look at all the hands on their hips. Now, that's not the credentials of a side that aspire to be a premiership side. So, Sticks Proven, wake them up, lad. Wake them up, they all went to sleep out there. All right, let's have a look at the Ken Stewart's try again on the disc. Now, you'll notice that he's a dummy half. He doesn't pick it up and kick it. He just kicks it off the ground. Now, watch it. Number 12, there's the ball on the ground. Kicks it through soccer fashion between the legs of a Cronulla player. Cheeky devil.
You can't do that.
Yes, he did it. Blimey, it's a good try.
It's different.
And it wasn't worth 3, it was worth 5.
Yeah.
He tried to do it on Friday night and didn't